how can you evoke emotion and bring up a full body experience in your writing with just a few words? I'm going to show you how I've been doing this. Hi, I'm Trisha Edwardson. I post on LinkedIn Monday through Friday, most weeks. Sometimes I take a few days off or a few weeks off. And last year, I stopped doing LinkedIn the LinkedIn way and stopped following the guru and the hustle advice and the scarcity and all the traditional templates and all the crap that people tell you and how to write. And I started doing things my own way because I got to a point where if this is what it means, I'm not doing it. So I'm either doing it my way or I'm not doing it at all. And not doing it at all, it's just not an option for me. I really fully believe in what I'm building. It's foundational, it's legacy, it's growth. And so the past year, I have been stepping into me. And I'd say it probably took a couple of months, about 4 months or something, before I really started to kind of see where my flow is, my rhythm, where my sweet spot is. And ever since then, I've been going deeper and really, gosh, I'm having so much fun writing. I even tried the AI route of letting AI write my posts. And I know a lot of people who, gosh, they felt so disconnected from going that direction. And it's easy to spot AI writing. It's so easy to spot it. I know what its cadences are. And you just start sounding like everybody else. And so I'm sharing how I put emotion into my posts. I tend to have a more narrative style. Sometimes I write poems, but they're not like literature. They are just poems about, how I stubbed my toe or something. They're silly, or how I worked with my clients. It's still appropriate for LinkedIn. I'm having fun in how I'm communicating, and I get a lot of people telling me how much they enjoy my writing and how they're trying to be like me, which I really want you to be like you. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to do some series of why I'm making the choices that I'm making, because it flows from me. I don't sit around. It doesn't take me a long time to write a post, but I do make conscious decisions as well as what flows from me. I consciously decide. So I have a system. Does it feel good? Does it make sense? And if it doesn't make sense, it's got to go back to, well, does it feel good? Does it make sense? Always has to feel good first before it makes sense. So I'm bringing up a post that I wrote about a week ago. And at least the time of this filming here. And I'm not going to go through and read the whole thing. Maybe you've already read it on here. But I'm going to talk about this line right here. This is the part that I'm going to talk about. So now when I create something like an offer, an email, even this post, I know I'll feel all like watching Legally Blonde. So this is about, this whole post is about how I work with human design as a mirror to help me to see myself and use it with my clients. And I do all kinds, I don't do the traditional readings and stuff. There's a lot of like basic info out there on human design. Sorry, I am really opinionated sometimes. So on human design, sometimes there's a lot of like, this is who you are, and this is what you should be doing, and you need to do this. And I don't like that. I like to use it as a reflection. I like to explore. We map things out. We get creative with how we use the information. And so this was an exercise that I had been working on. And anyway, I was talking about my flow. That's what this post is about. So lately I've been mapping my energy flow visually. And it's because I want to know how my flow goes effortlessly versus where I feel restriction. And so there's a way that you can do that in human design, but it comes from me asking me a bunch of questions. It's not telling me. I'm asking myself questions, revealing things, and then mapping it with my human design and seeing what lines up and what doesn't line up and where I could make some adjustments. So it's not about agreeing with the design overall. It's just a tool, like how journaling is a tool. So anyway, I really had this thing. I do a lot of emotional writing because that is part of my design. That is part of me. And there's a whole other resources out here on LinkedIn about me talking about why emotion is a cornerstone for me. But so I want to talk about this line on here, why I put this in here. It gives you a little bit of backstory, what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the emotion and when I write stuff and how I think about things. So Gosh, this video is kind of turning into itself. So when I create or when I write, even this post, and I know I'll feel it all like watching Legally Blonde. So Legally Blonde, if you haven't seen it, Elle Woods, maybe you're a fan. I could have picked other movies. There's other movies, like I thought about Pretty in Pink when I put this down, because that's another like all-time fave. Like, she makes her own clothes. She does her own thing. She says, screw you. She's caught between two worlds, but she does her own thing and she gets love at the end after all, right? And there's a lot of great moments in that. And I could have picked that. And that's one of the things that I could have picked. Legally Blonde has a different set of emotions, and it's really not as much completely as tuning into yourself, but it's about having that breakthrough moment of, heck, I'm confident. And this is how I felt when I first came to LinkedIn. I'm confident. I'm a very confident person. I'm overachiever, all those things that you think about, a woman being in a position. I taught at a college for 19 years. I was a director of 2 majors. Like, I had confidence. I had run my own businesses. I had, money. I had titles. I have the family, I have my creativity. I'm respected and all of these things, but kind of like Elle Woods going through this thing, then all of a sudden she's treated for, it's just her looks, or she doesn't, she's not smart enough to be here. She's in this different world. And that's what LinkedIn felt like for me, being in a different world, and where all those things that everybody liked about me from my other world, I feel kind of small here, and no one's doing anything to me. Although I did get a huge number of DMs trying to sell me stuff and tell me how I need to change my visuals. I need to do this. And this is all done by people who didn't even know me, never even asked me a question, just pitch slapped me right on there, right? But then, like Elle Woods, she steps into her own. It's like, no, I'm doing this my way. And that's when she whips out the pink and does all the color and does everything like, no, I'm doing it my way. And I feel like that was my breakthrough moment last year, that I'm doing it my way. This is my creative way. I'm going to write poems, and I'm going to make some weird, funky video and post it on LinkedIn, which I'm going to be the weird, artsy one who's not really all that artsy sometimes and to my artsy friends. But in this world, I'm going to be odd. And you know what? I'm just going to be me. That's really what it's going to be. And so that's why I picked this movie. So it's a real simple line in here, but it has resonance with me. And I know anybody who is a fan of the movie, probably a woman, my ideal client, although I have worked with plenty of men, but probably that somebody who resonates with pink. And as you know, I have pink as my accent, and my stuff, you can see it all up here. I match it to the artwork that I've made, as well as my lipstick. And, there's little things, like coming through, like that breakthrough, doing it on your own. And, who doesn't love that? Like, it's a breakthrough movie. That's how I think about it. It's not the underdog kind of movie, like Hoosiers was the underdog. This was like, no, I'm really talented. I'm really good. And, I'm going to be you know what? I don't need to follow your rules. I'm going to do it my way and be even better. And that is what I wanted to evoke into the person who's reading this, because somebody who's watched the movie is experiencing all of that just from reading the words Legally Blonde. It comes up in an instant, like when you look at a photograph and you remember all the people who were there and what they were wearing and the time of the day and whether it was sunny or raining, and all the times that you looked at that photograph and who you showed it to and who commented on Facebook about it. Like that one single photograph, when you look at it, a whole web of emotions and thoughts and memories and images come your way. The same thing can happen when you use really powerful words. And for me, in this one, it was Legally Blonde. So anybody who read this and likes the movie, hello, ideal client. he felt that burst. And that's why I put it in there. So I get really specific about some of the words that I put in there. There's oftentimes different ones that I could pick from, but I'm picking ones that resonate with me and tell an emotional story that I want to embody in that moment. So yeah, there you go. Sorry, I am super amped up, and but I guess that's what I have to share with you. This is how I pick what goes into my writing.